ShowMeTheCurry.com. I'm Hital.
I'm Anuja.
And today we're going to make spiced cauliflower with potatoes.
It's also known as Aloo Gobi Masala. And it's absolutely delicious.
So here's what you're going to need.
1 medium-sized cauliflower cut to bite-sized florets. 2 large potatoes peeled, washed and cut to bite-sized pieces. 1 cup frozen green peas. 2 tablespoons oil. Half teaspoon cumin seeds, 1 pinch asafoetida, half teaspoon turmeric powder, 1 medium onion finely chopped, 1 inch piece ginger minced, 5 cloves garlic minced, 2 large tomatoes chopped, 2 teaspoons coriander powder, 1 teaspoon cumin powder, 1 teaspoon garam masala, red chili powder to taste, half teaspoon amchur, also known as dry mango powder, salt to taste, cilantro, 5 sprigs finely chopped. Okay, we're going to start off with the potatoes, and we're going to just salt it lightly and then cook it in the microwave from about between 3 to 5 minutes, just so that it cooks a little faster when we're cooking it on the stove. And we're going to put about a quarter cup of water in it and just put it in the microwave just to speed up the cooking process.
And we're salting this beforehand because potatoes are one of those vegetables that if you don't salt it at the beginning, the salt never gets into the middle of the potatoes and they're bland forever. So if you salt it a little bit beforehand, it ensures that the salt goes all the way in and it's very flavorful. And again, you don't want to cook it so much where the potatoes mash up. It's just a half cook, just to save time.
Right, and I have covered it just so that it cooks faster. The potatoes are out of the microwave and they cooked perfectly in 3 minutes. But again, microwaves vary, so...
Now the same thing with the cauliflower. We're going to salt it afterwards, and no water this time. We rinse the cauliflower out with water, so a lot of the water is still sticking onto the florets, and that's perfectly enough for it to cook.
And I'm going to again put it in the microwave for about 3 minutes, and I'm going to cover it. Okay, the cauliflower is out of the microwave, and it took 5 minutes. And the cauliflower at this point is about half cooked. And we don't want it any more cooked because once we put it in the pan and mix it, we don't want it to all fall apart. So I'm going to also go ahead and salt it very slightly over here, just so that it mixes in well.
And you want to make sure you salt the cauliflower while the cauliflower is still warm, and that way the salt actually absorbs into the florets. And while that's going on, we're going to go ahead and start on our masala. And we have a medium nonstick pan on medium heat going right now. We're going to go ahead and add in the oil. And you wait for the oil to heat up before we add the other ingredients in.
Another actually point I wanted to mention was that while the masala, you can start off the masala and then do the stuff in the microwave. That way it just saves time. You can do 2 things at the same time.
Good point. I think the oil looks heated. We can add in our cumin seeds. These are going to sizzle around for a little while. Okay, that looks ready.
And we're going to put in
asafoetida and turmeric powder. And we'll go ahead and add in our onions. We'll give that a nice mix and let it cook for a few minutes. And we'll go ahead and add in our ginger and garlic a little bit later. You can also increase your temperature a little bit on the stove, and it helps cook it a little bit faster. But be sure to keep an eye on it because it will burn if you don't.
The onion is kind of got a little dried up. So we're going to go ahead and add in our ginger garlic at this point.
You don't want to wait till you put your ginger and garlic in, because garlic tends to burn at a higher rate than onions do. So if you put them in first, you get a little bitter tasting masala.
So now we're going to just mix it and let it cook some more before we add in the tomatoes. The onions look cooked, kind
Yeah,
of.
looks nice and golden brown, and
Right.
you can actually see the oil separating from the onions, and that's a good indication that it's ready for the tomatoes.
Tomatoes, right. And from this point onwards, we're going to cook more until the oil actually separates again from the masala.
Okay, I think the oil is separating here. So we can go in and add our dry spices now.
Here's the coriander powder and our garam masala, red chili powder, optional and to taste. And this is cumin powder. And this is the secret ingredients, amchur or dry mango powder. It gives a wonderful tanginess to it, and oh, it's delicious. And last but not the least, salt. Now we're going to be careful on this one because
We've already salted the potatoes,
Yes.
we've already salted the cauliflower,
right, and we don't want to kill you with salt.
and it's ready for the veggies.
So we're going to first put in the potatoes. And just make sure you don't put in the water because it's a dry vegetable. And let it cook for a little while. And if you're uncomfortable using the microwave for any of these processes, you can even do this on the stove. It will just take a little longer. But it is all, you can do it. The reason why we did not boil the potatoes ahead is because when you boil the potatoes, they just fall apart and they just...
They don't retain the nice
they don't-
cubes.
Right.
Okay.
The potatoes now have been cooking for about 5 minutes. And I'm going to give it another mix. And I think it's kind of done.
Yeah.
So
Add in the peas now.
right? And the peas are just for color. They just give a beautiful color.
And if you use the frozen peas, you really don't have to cook them very long. If you cook them long, first of all, they lose their color, and they're already great tasting as they are.
And once we mix that, we're going to go ahead and add our cauliflower.
Okay,
Ready?
mixing.
And so I'm not adding, some of the water is going in but not all of it, just a couple of drops. Look at it.
Beautiful. And you're mixing gently, but definitely mix well. This cauliflower is white, and you don't want it to remain white, so make sure it gets the masala all coated on all the sides.
I'm ready to do the taste test. That looks great. Let's cover it and cook it for a few more minutes just so that everything, all the flavors combine and it all comes together nicely.
Wow. Looks perfect.
Alright. Final mix?
Yes.
Oh yes. Fabulous.
Awesome.
This is like so homely, you know?
And it smells so good. I can't even explain it. It's just wonderful.
So it's ready to serve. You can have it with chapatis or with parathas, and or even as a side dish with rice and dal or something.
Right. Works great. And there you have it, Aloo Gobi Masala, ready to eat.
Oh, and it looks fabulous.
Fabulous. We're going to garnish with a little cilantro.
So join us again on another episode of ShowMeTheCurry.com.
Adding a pinch of spice to your life.